everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we've got my ninth place. It's really, I was the bubble for the event. I went 5-1 with it, and that was the cutoff, and I just had worse tiebreakers than everyone else, so I did not get top 8, unfortunately, which really sucks because we actually got like an invite to something if we did, but still think the deck's great, and I'm still really happy with my performance, and we're going to go over it today. So this isn't a super new deck that I've made. This is, you'll see the parts of it, but it's more refined, and I'm happy that I took it, and I think like it really proves that this deck was actually really good, and I'm happy it worked out. So first, this is the Reboot Leader. This isn't the Star Deck one, but he has an auto when this card attacks, choose one. You either get to draw one card, you can switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. Both these effects are really good, and depending on the matchup or what happened, I'd use both. And then he awakens, he's a draw 2 at 4 less life, or if you have a unison with cost of 3 on your side of the board, which would normally happen, and which was really good too, because I'd usually be at like 6 life or so, and my opponent wouldn't be able to do anything about it. And then we played on the front side, auto when this card attacks, you draw 1, and then you just choose 2 of your mono blue energy, and you flip them to, you just switch them to active mode. So just being able to do a draw 1, untap 2 every turn is fantastic. It really makes up for, and then your draw 2 leader as well, so it's just really good. And then also at the end of your turn, choose up to one of your blue unison cards and switch it to active mode. It's also, this isn't specified cost of 3 either. This is any of your unison cards, so really good here. This guy just gains a lot of value, and if you're playing something with mono blue in mind, this is a great leader for this. And we're like kind of playing mono blue. So if we're looking first at our unisons, I did a 3-2-2 split, which is a little bit weird, but I think this really worked out, and I was really able to find the ones I needed at the times I needed. You need a 3-drop unison just to awaken early. If you don't have these guys, just 4 of these guys will be fine. I just want him for the variety, and I like being able to have 5 of these just so we're almost, I never didn't see one double negative, 1 on turn 3. I always able to just pop one down turn 3 and then go for it, which is great. Use 2 of these guys just because they're super good value, and being able to either draw 2 or mess up your opponent's board was really good. And this has blocker as well, so you can do dual attack, and then your leader still restands him at the end of your turn, which means that you're able to get like him as a 20k blocker still. And so that's what all these do. Also, we'll talk about this guy later. He has like the cheese of being like, the only reason I ran this one is because he has a 20k double strike or dual attack. But the fact that he can play a blue sand from your hand for free is really, for one, -1 token on him is fine. And the permanent on him, which I don't think I never used a permanent on it, but there's some potential for some cheese on him, so that's good. But this one's obviously the best one for it. So if you only have this guy, only run 4, and the rest are. I still think if you don't have these ones because they're kind of hard to get to right now, I'd say 4 of these guys and 2 of these guys would be fine for this deck. The only thing about this guy is that you have to make sure you're charging 4 blue, which can be kind of tricky at times, but we'll really go over it. All right, and so and then also real quick, so we're playing obviously 4 of this guy because we're playing unisons, and this card's broken. So make sure you definitely need as many of these as you can for it. And then boom, here we go. We got Bobby, so you kind of know what this deck is already, but it's the AOD one. But there's just a lot of cool things you can do because of this leader, especially since. This Bobbity makes all your cards cost 1 less and ignore color, then you're still only charging blue, but it's kind of like you get to play like a bunch of cool effects. So we're running 4 of Bobbity, and also 3 of Hatchiact. Normally you'd want to run 3 and 4, but we're running 4 of these because we need blue energies just to make sure that we can consistently charge every turn. So that helps out. But Hatchiact is a really cool card. He's really good for Vegex for sure. So he has 2 things. He has an Actimane for 1. You can discard this card from your hand, play up to 1 Evil Wizard Bobbity with energy cost of 1 from your deck, and drop area, then shuffle your deck. But also he has an auto when you play him. And when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 4 less, send it to their owner's warp, and then place up to 3 battle cards from your opponent's drop area at the bottom of their deck in any order. So getting rid of cards from your opponent's drop area is fantastic when there's so much drop stuff going on. He's just really good. And just the quick combo real quick. So turn 1, you get Bobbity out, and then turn 2, you have 2 blue energy open, and you still have your leader swing too, so you can like play this for 2, and then you can swing and then untap an energy if you want to have like some stuff for free. And the next real good card for this is the Garlic Jr. He's fantastic in this deck. Just being able to, so he's a one energy negate. So you're able to just with Bobbity out. So once again, so if you needed to disrupt your opponent, turn 1 you play this, turn 2 you'd swing. Or you play Hachiyak, tap out, swing, untap, have 1 energy open, and then you can play Garlic Jr. When your opponent swings next turn. So not only is he a 15k that comes out and negates an attack, but when he does come out, you're able to choose one of your, let me make sure I get it right. When this card is played, choose up to 1 Agent of Destruction with any cost of 2 other than the copies of this card from your deck with skills negated for the turn, then shuffle your deck. So the boy we get from there is Turles. If you want to add like the Slug, you can. I did not. This is the only target for it, but we only resolve like 1 or 2 of these a game anyways, and just being able to get this guy is great. He has a lot going for him, and just being able to play him for free is nice. He's a blue Saiyan, right? That was like the cheese for this. So you can you can play him for free for -1 on this if you need like cheese out some damage, but if he's in rest mode, you don't take leader as long as you have this unison out too. So that's something there, but he just gains so much value. He has unique for a good reason, but you can just swing with him, and every time you do, look at top 5 for any of your Agent of Destruction stuff, which is fantastic, and it just helps the consistency and like card advantage of this deck. This is more of like a mid-range deck. It's not really control, it just gains a lot of value, and your opponent can't really do anything, especially since you awakened really early with your leader. Most of my games I didn't go below 4 life. Only the game I lost did I actually go below 4 life, and that should be pretty obvious. Some other cards. So we have 2 more sets of agents. We have the Agent of Destruction Android 13 and also the Broly agent. Both these guys are good at what they do. Broly just being able to play it for 2, KO one of your opponent's cards early, and then you look at top 3 and you add 1 card to your hand. It doesn't matter if it's agents or not either, so that's fantastic. And there's also this Android 13 and something else too. These are all 20k bodies too, like all these 3, the Garlic Jr. and Goku and Turles are not, but just having a 20k body for 2 means your opponent has to like invest resources to get rid of these most of the time. So that's fantastic. He also has an ability for 1. You can discard this card from your hand, add up to 1 Agent Destruction from your drop area to your hand. So that can also be handy as well. I didn't really end up using it, but that's something potential for some good stuff there. And then Android 13, he gains a lot of value. I'm not sure if he was good enough. If you don't have this guy, if it's too old or something, he's not super duper needed, but he's a 20k crit, and having that pressure is nice. And then you can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle card. If you pay 2, which is really easy for this deck. So like let's say turn 2, it's usually like around turn 4, but turn 4 you can pay this for 2, and then you can use its 2 effect, and then you can swing with your leader, and then you get 2 more, and then you can do the 2 effect again. This is not a once per turn active main, so you're able to just KO one of your opponent's card without any care about what their energy cost is, and then they have to discard a card as well. So a lot of good value off this guy. He wasn't super duper needed. He helps out more control matchups where a lot of mine were more aggro mid range, but he has a lot of potential for a lot of good value. Next up, we've got our super combos. We ran Force Zamasu. I had these like stuck in my hand for so long. I rarely use these, so if you want to add something better, you can. But I ran these because I also ran these guys. This engine didn't really do too much, honestly. So if you want to do something else, you can. But it's just part of the reason I did that was because I'm like, oh, cool. Well, we got some blue cards, and we also have this Garlic Jr. So if we want to like negate an attack, and then with Garlic Jr. play a Turles, and then after that combo with those 2, and you get this for free. You got to pay an energy, but there's some combo and like some synergy there. It's not super duper good. So if you want to experiment with your super combos and add other things, you can. But both these are great cards, and they're not it's not bad for playing these guys. Putting into the staples, we've got 4 Bean and 4 Dimension Magic because we're blue players and we're good. You know what these guys do, right? I don't have to explain how good these are. So these are pretty auto adds. And then lastly, the money cards. And so this is a 55 card deck if you weren't counting along at home, which you should be. No, just kidding. But the money cards we got 2 of the Great Ape Son Gokus and 3 Abunis, because this is what I own. I do have a 3rd Goku ape, but I thought 2 and 3 was fine. If you don't have these cards, that's fine. Abuni is definitely, if you only have 1, Abuni is probably the better card for this, but we have like so much like untapped 2 potential that this leader can just be turn into a, instead of a draw 1 untap 2, this becomes a draw 3 leader, which is crazy. and being able to a boonie and then like just swarm the field too. Both these effects are really good. Obviously, that's why they're so expensive. So, but if you don't have these cards, don't worry about it. I don't think they're super duper needed. If you're turn 4, you have other plays. If you want more of turn 4 plays, I would definitely add like a third version of this guy in there. And just like once again, being able to use this Android 13 is fantastic on turn 4. So it kind of fought with a boonie on that spot. So if you only have these guys, that's I think is fine as well. But these are definitely kind of like win more cards, but they are good at what they do. So if you don't have them, don't worry about it. But I think if you do have them, definitely run them. But I don't think the deck depends on you having these cards. So if you want to play a budget version without these, I think you'll be fine. Any other cards that I have hidden over here? So there's the fourth one of these. I did have the secret rare in this for some builds. But I don't feel like we're ever going to get to turn 6. And for this tournament, it was a 30-minute round. If it was a 40-minute round, I might play this guy. But I never got to 6 energy. It was never really a thing. Actually, you know what? It was a thing on one event, on one match. But it was fine. I wouldn't run this guy, especially if you're playing against something aggressive. This just kind of clogs up your hand. You can't charge it. You can't really discard it. So I don't think there's a good reason to run this guy, but he's super cool. So if you do have him, you want to run him, go for it. Being able to just use 6 energy and go in just playing a bunch of your Kais feels really, because you can get 5 cards, so you can get like all of your you can get like your Brolys, which lets you just essentially draw one, and then you can also get like your not your demis, you can get your Hatchaks. Like Android 13 is really good because it's just a free 20k crit as well. Just a lot of value, but he's not. I don't know how expensive he is offhand. I don't know if he went up or down, but if you have him, you can totally play him. And that's really it. My matches sequentially. First, I played. It was really cool. I really do like this meta. It's a fantastic meta, and being able to, I played a different leader every round, which is really cool. All right, take 2 of matches I played in order because I messed it up the first time because I'm tired and I couldn't remember. Round 1, we played Vegito. Round 2, we like the blue star deck Vegito. Round 2, we played a Bobbity AOD deck. Round 3, we played against... Round 4 was Slug, which is when I lost. Round 3, though, was Vegex against John. Round 5 was a Gotenks, a yellow Gotenks, and then round 6 was Ivo in his Mono Blue Zamasu. So, once again, a lot of diversity, a lot of blue, a lot of yellow, and 1 green and 1 black. So no red, per usual right now. But those are my matches. That's the deck. I think this is good. If you have, most of these cards are just from the expansion set anyways. So I feel like this is a moderately cheap build, but I haven't looked it up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.